As we kick off AAPI Heritage Month, a new report is revealing that Hollywood could be losing out on billions of dollars in revenue by not investing in AAPI talent. Quote, nearly half of the AAPI respondents living in the U.S. indicated that they would spend more money on film and TV and consume more content if AAPI experiences were more authentically represented. The report adding that if AAPI consumers spent the same share of their income on film and TV as white consumers do, the opportunity rises to $4 billion annually. And joining me now is Tony Award-winning actor B.D. Wong, who's currently starring in the new off-Broadway play, What Became of Us, at the Atlantic Theater Company. I have a grin from ear to ear having you here, B.D. Wong. I don't even have the words. Thank you so much for being here.
It's completely mutual, Katie.
Okay, well, we could just sit here and just mutually fangirl, but, we'll actually have like an interview now. So let's talk about this McKinsey report. The AAPI community would be more inclined to spend money on entertainment if we had better representation. You've been in this industry for decades. Does that make sense? Does that actually resonate?
It absolutely makes sense. I did not know about this study, but I do know that you and I both know over the years we've seen the opportunity for Asian Americans to be spending money on our own content.
Yep.
We've seen people buying out houses of Crazy Rich Asians and Joyride and spending that money to show their support and to show their desire, their rabid desire for more content and more truth and more stories. And we have seen it incrementally move in the direction that we hope it could move in. And I think we should be encouraged by that. So there's nothing bogus about that at all.
So, but I do have to ask, and I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer on this, but, you've seen this as well, you've experienced this as well. There are roles recently that have been created for an Asian lead, male and female, and yet oftentimes, for example, like you don't have an Asian male romantic lead, for example. I mean, there are spaces that we're still not taking up because we're just not considered for those roles.
Right, and there's a lot of, terrible reasoning behind, like you'll get a lot of excuses about marketing and what the wider audience, what they think the wider audience wants. And I think we need to kind of prove, we're always in a position where we're having to prove that is not true, that people only want to default to white protagonists. They can not relate to any protagonist that's not a white protagonist. That's not true. We're interested in a character that has truth and beliefs and values and morals that we relate to, not race.
And talking about things that are true, you were one of the first actors in Hollywood to come out as gay.
Yes.
And it's a tough industry. It's a very judgmental industry. Talk about how challenging it was for you to make that decision and to also continue to be your true authentic self, because you're Asian. And I know from our communities, sometimes it hasn't always been an acceptance of being gay and being Asian.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. And yet I think I kind of think of them as parallel identities. As an Asian American and as a queer person, I feel this sense of needing to be truthful. I don't know why. I think it's because as an actor, as a young actor, as a student actor, I was taught about truth and I was taught about authenticity and where that comes from and how over the years, as you are a young actor becoming older, you learn how to use more of yourself. So the logic is the more you that you have to use, the better your work will be. And so that was just part of my natural process. And today it feels very false. It feels very limiting. It feels very not just inauthentic, but it feels inadequate to not include these things in the list of what it is that I am. And there's a long list. It's not just two things, right? It's all these different, because I'm left-handed and I'm a progressive person and I think a certain way and I do certain things and I'm a foodie and whatever it is that I am. It's a list of things. And so the more complete and the more varied you can make that list, the better your work will be. And so that's where I started, and then that ended up being a public statement, actually, and that's fine with me too.
So May 1st launched AAPI Heritage Month
Yes.
for us. I like to say, and you too, we are also Asian, 365 days a year, not just in the month
Yes.
of May. Please, people, don't forget that. But what does it mean to you to have something like AAPI Heritage Month, to be launching this play and to be co-starring with Rosalind Chow, who's a spectacular Chinese actress? There's just so much beauty and progress there. And so what does this month mean for you?
Well, it's wonderful that the play is launching this month. We're in rehearsal, deep in rehearsal right now, and the play is a wonderfully, cleverly written play about a sibling relationship from beginning to end. And what's wonderful about it is it's about how where we were born and when we were born affect our relationship to our parents and to each other as siblings. And it's also being double cast with the second cast, Tony Shalhoub and Shohreh Aghdashloo, and the fact that we're from different backgrounds informs the play in a really wonderful way, because the play is written about an immigrant experience that's very neutral. It doesn't talk about exactly where they came from. It doesn't say where they were from and what their individual experience is, but you get to see side by side in this production the similarities and the differences in our culture.
I will say, as we part ways, the one cool thing I learned about you was your first acting role was Boy on Street, was the credit, in The Karate Kid Part 2.
That's right. With
I'm gonna go
Talent
back.
Anita. You got to see it. You don't.
Well, I've
blink,
seen it.
though.
Come on. How could I not have seen Karate Kid Part 2?
It is literally 3 seconds long, one line, where I'm passing out flyers, and I walk through the shot, and then I'm gone.
I'm going to go do that now.
gotta
You
go
understand
do
that,
it,
right?
yeah.
I'm going to go do that now.
Okay.
And for those of you that are watching, go and find that as well. BD Wong,